With your permission, I rise to present the 35th report of the Business Advisory Committee. Thank you.
आइटम नंबर 16 श्री प्रहलाद सिंह पटेल जी।
क्रम संख्या 16 पर उल्लेखित दस्तावेज मैं लोकसभा के पटल पर रखता हूं।
श्री भानु प्रताप सिंह वर्मा जी।
Sir, with your permission, I rise to lay papers mentioned against my name at serial number 2 of the revised list of business.
प्रताप सिंह जी।
मेरे नाम क्या है जो सूची में है वो मैं उसका पेपर रखता हूँ।
आइटम नंबर 18 श्री अर्जुन राम मेघवाल जी।
Thank you, Chairperson sir. With your permission, I want to make a statement regarding the status of implementation of the recommendations, observations contained in the 24th report of the Standing Committee on Energy on Demand for Grant 2022-23 pertaining to the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. Thank you.
आइटम नंबर 19 श्री विश्वेश्वर टुडू जी।
Sir, with your kind permission, I rise to make a statement regarding status of implementation of recommendation contained in the 15th report of the department-related Parliamentary Standing Committee on Water Resources on demands for grants 2022-23 pertaining to the Department of Water Resources, River Development and Ganga Rejuvenation, Ministry of Jal Shakti. Sir, I lay this statement. Thank you.
सिंह जी।
My name. Sir, with your permission,
So there you had Lok Sabha resuming, but sloganeering continued once again. There were slogans like ED ki tanashahi nahi chalegi, band karo, that we could hear from the opposition. All of this in the backdrop of what we saw play out in the national capital yesterday with the sealing of the Young India office at the Herald House in the national capital, where we've heard from Congress and various other leaders from their party that this is just misuse of central agencies. All of this, of course, in the backdrop of the summons that were given by the ED to both Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. But earlier in the day, we saw ruckus in Rajya Sabha, and now we had the Lok Sabha resuming. There was sloganeering against the Enforcement Directorate. Let me just give you a recap of what really happened yesterday. Yesterday, you had the ED officers reaching the Herald House in the national capital. Because Mallikarjun Kharge wasn't there, they had to seal the Young India office. This was on the 4th floor of the Herald House. Today, we are understanding that ED officers are once again back at the Herald House, and Mallikarjun Kharge is also present, and currently that investigation is on. Let me also introduce our guests who are joining us on the broadcast. We have spokesperson of the Congress Party, Mahima Singh, joining us here in our studios. And we also have political analyst PKD Nambiar. Good to have both of you on the broadcast with us. Mahima, let me begin with you first. The BJP has been saying essentially this, that if the Gandhis or the others whose names have been brought up, if they have nothing to hide, why not just cooperate with the investigation rather than just make this into such a hue and cry where it almost looks like that the Gandhis are above the party?
Haven't we been cooperating? I think we've been cooperating every bit. And if this is not cooperation, I do not know what is. If by cooperation you mean that we give in to every suppressive tactic of the government, every suppressive gambit of this formidable government, I'm sorry, we are not going to be doing that. You cannot bring on platoons of cops on the streets like that. You look at what has happened on 10 Janpath yesterday. Look at what has happened on 12 Tughlaq Road yesterday. Just because we are the only voice which is being raised against the dictatorial steps of the government, be it inflation, be it unemployment, be it
the nobody is denying the opposition the opportunity to raise their voices. That is how a democracy functions. But look at how the protests have broken out in the last couple of weeks First, when Rahul Gandhi was summoned, and then when Sonia Gandhi was summoned, the Congress was calling this a satyagrah. But what we saw play out on the streets was vandalism of public property. So shouldn't the police then intervene, because the common man was inconvenienced as well?
Rare incidences of vandalism, which we do not know, which you know, in a democracy, which may have happened here and there, which is nothing a part of the satyagraha that we are conducting. But what we have done in the hours of participation with the ED, the interrogation, my leader, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, my president of the party, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, have participated every bit. And yet, if you question that we have not been cooperating, I do not know how to cooperate, or please define it for us. How should we cooperate? Because what is happening right now, you are arresting, the government is arresting the parliamentarians. The government is trying to muzzle the voice of opposition. What is happening right now? You mean, you know, one has to understand where Mr. Rahul Gandhi or Mrs. Sonia Gandhi are being put together is a very dangerous spot where you, I, any citizen of this country might be put any day. It is, you know, it is muzzling not only of the voice of the opposition, it is muzzling of the fundamental rights, it is suppression of the fundamental rights every bit in the largest democracy of the world.
Okay, I want to go